Hey folks, today is Friday, May 9th, 2025. As usual, my name is Jake Baldino, here to talk about all the video game news that has been going on this week. It's a busy week. As you can tell, I'm on the road. This is a hotel room, even though it kind of looks like a jail cell. I saw all your comments in the other video I put out the other day, but yeah, a lot of stuff to talk about, including Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4, which I got hands-on with. That's why I'm here. I'll talk about that more in a little bit, but the biggest news this week that I thought was interesting is the fact that Half-Life 3 might exist. I feel like I've been talking and leading with this headline at least once or twice a year for the last decade, but with all of the rumors that have been building, it seems like Half-Life 3 could be a more likely thing. The newest suggestion, and why it's in the news now, comes from Tyler McVicker, who is a content creator, a longtime YouTuber covering Valve news and rumors and stuff like that. He's been very on point in the past, and shout out to Engadget for catching this, but in like a Q&A video he did mention that he believes Half-Life 3 is, once again, real, but also that in progress and development progress, essentially, it is playable from start to finish, and we could see an announcement soon with a release possibly this winter. So again, this is a rumor, like take it all with a grain of salt, but I think Tyler has a decent track record sometimes, and again, with all the things we've heard in the past, all these little rumblings, all these little leaks, all these little things coming out of Valve, there could be a Half-Life 3. And I think just taking the rumors and speculation side away from it, even just at a glance, like Valve has very publicly been like celebrating Half-Life anniversaries more recently. Half-Life 2 RTX was a huge marketing campaign. It almost feels like they're slowly bringing back like brand awareness to Half-Life a little bit, which would of course be perfect for the launch of a new game. What the hell could a Half-Life 3 possibly be? Anything. Also, it's a funny thing that like gamers have never given up hope for, despite so many things in the past. I wonder what Half-Life 3 will actually be like. Would it be like what it was originally supposed to be, like what we've heard from leaks and rumors, or something completely different? I don't know, I just think anything can happen between Valve lately with all the Half-Life stuff to the fact that Half-Life Alyx was incredible. I love that game. I thought that was the last Half-Life we were ever gonna get, but who knows, really? In terms of being announced this year, that's anyone's guess, really. That to me sounds crazy, but crazier things have happened. And right now, we're in that lull time of year, like right before E3, or I mean, E3 isn't a thing anymore, but like right before like Summer Game Fest and like all the like fall holiday season announcements and release dates and stuff. And the fact that like we're not there yet, that stuff hasn't been announced. And now we know GTA 6 is coming next year. It's fair game. Anything can happen. So maybe Half-Life 3 will come out. I have no idea. But if you want to read up on it, check it out. Anything at all the news sources, everything I talk about this week, linked in the description down below. Oh, the other thing this week is we got a new look at Mafia: The Old Country. This one kind of was dormant for a little while, but we got a new trailer. I think a really incredible trailer that highlights some actual gameplay and just has some really cool editing. And it was reminiscent of the previous trailer, but with some gameplay and stuff. We also got a little bit of a developer diary just talking about their thought process and making the game. And I am really excited for this one. I am no stranger to like enjoying the Mafia games and also just single player, action adventure or third person shooter style games. This is right up my alley. But the most interesting thing is that it two things. The release date, August 8th. Great, but the price is $50. Yes, $50 with the developer publisher specifically saying that they're like targeting, that was a specific decision, targeting people who want an experience and will pay a premium for it, but not pay an insane amount for it. And I just think this is good. I think this is interesting. At the very least, I say that just because it could be them just trying to score brownie points right now, right, in the discourse of $80 video games, but I do think that if we have a future, like I don't want $80 video games, but if we live in a future where every individual developer is targeting different price points and trying different things to get people on board to their game, instead of just a blanket $80 across the board, I find that interesting. So we'll just have to hope and like wait and see how this goes, like if their grand experiment works. I know I'm probably going to buy it and play it. I like Mafia, but $50 is pretty sweet for a launch price. I know some people just kind of wait until games go on sale anyway, but yeah, either way, I want to know what you guys think about this. The price point, yes, and like the future of video game pricing, whether it's just across the board one price or different developers do different things, or also just let me know what you think about Mafia: The Old Country. I just think it has a lot of potential, from the old-timey cars to horses to the location. I don't know. I just think it's cool and unique, and I hope they nail it. Now, of course, the elephant in the room, yes, Grand Theft Auto 6. Look, we've already made a bunch of videos about it, but Rockstar dropped the second trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6, and it's a hell of a trailer. Along with that, it completely blew up the internet, dude. So right now, at the time of making this video, like, it did break a record, racking up 475 million views within just 24 hours. So this is like a big cultural moment for video games, but also I just think like pop culture and entertainment in general. The anticipation is insane, not just like from like regular gamers, but really like mainstream audiences. I had people texting me who barely play video games that are like, dude, new Grand Theft Auto. That's just how this goes. So it's gonna be big, but I'm just curious to see what the game is like. The trailer gave us a glimpse of quite a bit. If you want to check out our other reactions, it's all linked in the description down below, but top level, visually, I think it looks incredible. Rockstar did confirm that it's like 50% in-game, 50% cutscenes. I wish there was more like actual raw like gameplay here, but I actually have some level of trust in Rockstar in the sense that Red Dead Redemption 2's trailers did actually end up looking like the game. So there's that. So it could be pretty close. But graphically, visually, I think it's impressive, really detailed, like oddly realistic, almost too realistic. Remember when Grand Theft Auto games were like cartoony? I don't know. Either way, I think the story has the most potential. If you're playing as two protagonists, really cool. But the Bonnie and Clyde being in love thing has a lot of potential for just cool, memorable moments and stuff we haven't seen in a video game before. Rockstar, of course, in case you missed it, it's not just a trailer. On their website, they put out like 70-something screenshots and character bios and information about all the different locations and like areas within the state that you're going to be visiting beyond just Vice City. There's a lot to dive into. So yeah, I'm interested. I'm still in. Like, I was excited for this game. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I just like a good open world bullshit, cause chaos type thing. And especially when it's Rockstar storytelling. I loved Red Dead Redemption 2, so I'm excited to see what they do here. I hope they don't slow it down too much, like Red Dead Redemption 2, where it's so physics-based and simulation-based. I'm curious to see how they straddle that line, because I think mainstream audiences aren't going to want to play a game that plays as slow as Red Dead Redemption, but Rockstar's really going to do whatever they want. They very clearly just make the games that they want to make, so I'm just excited to see how this goes. I'm sure we're going to be talking about it a lot for the next year, because of course, like I said, the release date now is May 26th, 2026.
Hey, now next up, in this busy world, it can be hard to keep track of your finances sometimes. Good things and bad things, money in, money out, and keeping on top of all the subscriptions you might have. Well, thankfully, the sponsor of this video, Rocket Money, can help out with all of that. It's an all-in-one finance platform that helps you save more and spend less, straight up. Matter of fact, I've actually been using Rocket Money before it was a sponsor for like a couple of years now. One of my favorite things about it is that when you have it all set up, you can view at a glance all the subscriptions you have, everything you're subscribed to. And then from there, when there's a good chance you stumble upon something that you probably forgot you were subscribed to, you can simply cancel it right there with Rocket Money. They make it easy and you don't have to call anybody. Just a few taps and it's a lifesaver. But there's so much more you can do with Rocket Money. You can monitor your credit. You can also create custom budgets if you're saving for a goal. You can set notifications so you don't go and spend above your limits. It's really useful stuff. It's just really comprehensive, and long story short, it's helped me save money. It's not just me though. Rocket Money has helped its customers save up to $740 a year when using all the premium features. They've also helped customers save over $500 million in canceled subscriptions. So if you want to join and get started, all you got to do is head to the description down below and click that link, or head to rocketmoney.com/gameranx to get started for free and then unlock even more features with premium. Again, that's rocketmoney.com/gameranx to get started for free. And big thanks to Rocket Money for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to the news.
Next up, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. In case you missed it, there's like a new trailer and stuff. They announced the rest of the soundtrack. They did confirm that Bam Margera is in the game. A lot of good news coming out. And I did get to play quite a bit of the game. I didn't get like a free trip or anything. I flew myself out here. I paid my own way so I could say whatever I want, really. And yeah, it's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. If you loved 1 and 2, it plays and feels exactly like that. A little bit of progression change-up stuff in the menus in terms of like the leveling up stuff. It's a little bit more streamlined, but I actually think they went harder this time around. Like Iron Galaxy, like who I wasn't sure like with them taking on the project, they went really hard on the levels. The levels look absolutely incredible, but most importantly, the new levels I got to take a look at, like the water park, like they're designing new levels for Tony Hawk. it's actually pretty good. They know what they're doing. As a longtime Tony Hawk's Pro Skater player, it's like the only game I'm actually competitive at and really enjoy like that. Great levels so far. It's really, I haven't seen all of them, but I like what they're doing. In terms of the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 lacking the career mode, that's kind of like the big upset. It is noticeable. So what they did do is they took Tony Hawk 4's career mode where you just skate around and get objectives, and they distilled it down to a 2-minute mode like old school traditional Tony Hawk. A lot of the things you're doing in that 2-minute mode are things you would have done in the career mode. They kind of like took the best stuff, like, you know, knocking the ball down to like knock out the shark in San Francisco. You can still skitch on the tour cart on Alcatraz and hear the whole dialogue of the guy giving the tour. Like, it's got a lot of the original stuff, but it's hard. It does feel a little weird, and it's not necessarily like I thought that career mode was the greatest, but in terms of like a remake or a whatever remaster and like preservation, it sucks that it's not here, but ultimately it didn't bother me too much. I know for some people, and I get it, like as a hardcore Tony Hawk's Pro Skater person, I get it, like some people are not into the game now, but either way, like that aside, the rest of it seems really good. Gameplay is what I want it to be. The levels are really fresh looking. The college campus level from 4 looks incredible. Yeah, so I'm excited to see how this goes. Multiplayer stuff I want to see more of, but the fact that it's going to be cross-platform is very cool. So yeah, I'll be talking about it probably more in depth in another video I'll do on my channel, youtube.com/JakeBaldino. But yeah, there you have it. So the game is launching pretty soon, at least. Next up, in terms of crazy news, Gears of War is coming to PlayStation 5. Yes, we know Xbox has kind of been rolling out their games on PlayStation, like Forza and stuff like that, but with Gears now official, it feels like it's real, like it's setting in. Gears of War is coming. It's specifically Gears of War Reloaded. It's kind of like a up-resing and like beefed up version of the Ultimate Edition from years back, like 4K, 60 FPS, like bells and whistles, HDR support, stuff like that. Multiplayer going to be supported, so a bunch of PlayStation fans are going to experience the roadie run and the Nashers. It's gonna be something. I'm excited for more people just to be exposed to Gears of War. That's very cool. I have a lot of fond memories of that original trilogy, and it's releasing this August, so you don't have to wait too long. Also, in terms of new releases, The Midnight Walk is out. This totally slipped under my radar until I was gathering news stories, but this is that like first-person quirky kind of Tim Burton style animated game. It looks incredible. As of right now, like it just dropped. Steam reviews seem like they're okay so far, but I'm going to try and dive into that this weekend in between playing Doom, The Dark Ages for review. Keep your eyes peeled on that. Now, in terms of reading, I got 2 things I want to recommend. I always say, like, we talk about games so much, we might as well be, well read on them, right? So the first thing I have is from GameFile, Stephen Totillo reporting on an interview with Remedy's CEO, talking about their approach to Control 2 and how that's going to work. And the interesting revelation from this is that Control 2's budget is actually going to be slightly lower than Alan Wake's. And the article kind of goes into how game developers are approaching, not overinflated, crazy, unsustainable budgets and stuff like that. A really good read. Also, check out this interview from the Washington Post. It is an interview with the developers of Expedition 33, a game I absolutely love. Kind of been like a surprise smash hit for a lot of folks. It came out of left field, even though I've been telling you for months, sorry, nobody ever wants to listen to me. But yeah, it came out. It's good. I was right. This interview is really good, though. It kind of goes into like the process making the game. Of course, it was a smaller team. It kind of, like I said, it surprised some people. So the general approach, how they hired people, how they found talent, it really, really interesting read. So if you want to check that out, everything I talked about, link down below. Also, Palworld is changing. Yeah, remember Palworld, the mega hit when it originally released, of course, drew the ire of Nintendo with threats of lawsuits and stuff like that. Well, slowly, Palworld has kind of been walking back some things in the game that are Pokemon adjacent, like using the creatures out in the world, the capturing them with balls, that type of thing. They have scaled back quite a bit of that. And this new report from VGC details a lot of that, and I just thought that was interesting because I personally never really jumped back into the game after it blew up. I played a lot of it, but never really looked back. So it's curious to see how it has changed in some ways, and unfortunately Nintendo is like the big bully here. So, yeah, I don't know how to segue from that one, but Death Stranding 2 previews did drop this week, so if you're looking for something to read or watch, there's a lot of new information out there about the game, and just how it's different from the first one, how it's expanding on a lot of things. I'll link SkillUp's video. He went to Japan to play it for quite a bit, and has a lot of interesting thoughts on it. As a fellow Death Stranding enjoyer, yeah, I'm really excited for this one. So yeah, if you want to check out the previews, that was a thing that made a big splash this week. So yeah. Also, this is kind of cool. This is something you don't see every day, but Alien Rogue Incursion. This was a new Alien game specifically designed for VR. We've talked about it quite a bit in the past. It has potential, but this newest announcement is that it's actually, you can play it without a VR headset. So thankfully now more people are going to get their hands on what is an Alien game. It's essentially just like a new Alien game was announced, because some people obviously can't play it on VR. So yeah, I think that's cool. You love to see that. I like, flexibility. As much as I love VR, I think VR is important. I think the fact that it's something like Alien, and a lot of Alien fans were missing out on this, now they have a chance. And with the official release date, September 30th, now you'll have something maybe to do while heading into the fall spooky season. That about wraps it up for me, though. If you can't tell, I'm starting to get a little jet lagged as I'm talking in this video. But yeah, let me know what you think about everything this week, from Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer smashing records to Mafia: The Old Country. What do you think about those gameplay snippets? But also, do you think $50 is a good sweet spot? You think it's still too much? You just don't care? Let's talk anything about that game. Let's talk about Gears of War coming to PS5. And of course, Half-Life 3. You think it's bullshit? You think it's for real? Do you want to just hope? You want to just believe in something? Maybe something good will happen? I don't know. Let's talk about any of this down in the comments. We'll be down there as much as possible in the comments, but things do get a little crazy, so if you want to yell at me directly, find me on my YouTube channel, Jake Baldino, or all the social media. Just search Jake Baldino. But that's really it. I gotta get back to work, so all I ask of you is to click the like button if you like what we do here. Get you caught up on the news every Friday for like a decade now. So thanks, hanging out. Subscribe if you're new, because we put out videos every single day also. But either way, have a great weekend. Be safe. I'm Jake Baldino. Pizza's on me.